Okay, everybody good? That echo? Yeah, that was.
Today's meeting is being streamed live on the Township of Ramara YouTube channel. Anyone who is invited to speak will be recorded and their voice, image, and comments will form part of the live stream. The chair and/or secretary-treasurer have the discretion and authority at any time to direct the termination or interruption of live streaming. Such direction will only be given in exceptional circumstances where deemed relevant. Circumstances may include instances where the content of debate is considered misleading, defamatory, or potentially inappropriate to be published. Attendees are advised that they may be subject to legal action if their actions result in inappropriate and/or unacceptable behavior and/or comments. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and is also being live streamed, and that all/some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other people may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Thank you. In accordance with Section 44-1 of the Planning Act, the Council of the Township of Ramara has appointed this Committee of Adjustment to hear applications for variances to the zoning bylaw and applications for consent to sever land. The members of this committee are private citizens who are not members of council, nor are they employees. Committee members are provided with information about each application prior to the public hearing to enable them to review the sections of the township's bylaws which are relevant and to make a site visit if needed. No discussion of applications occur, nor will any decisions be made outside of the public hearing. The procedure for hearing applications is as follows. 1. The Secretary-Treasurer will describe the application and the extent of its processing to date. Number 2. The applicant or agent will be asked for his or her comments. Number 3. Members of the audience will be asked for their comments. Number 4. The applicant may then provide further information. Number 5. Committee members will then provide questions or comments to be followed by the decision of the committee. A written copy of the notice of decision will be sent to the applicant and anyone who provides the Secretary-Treasurer with a written request, including their full name and address. Decisions of this committee may be appealed to the Ontario Land Tribunal by the applicant, a minister, or a specified person or public body. The procedure is included with the notice of decision, and if you wish to be advised of a possible land tribunal hearing, you must request in writing a copy of this committee's decision. Once the application has been heard by the committee and the 20-day appeal period has ended, the application sign should be removed from your property. The sign can be returned to the township for reuse or recycling. Thank you very much.
about all taxes being paid up to date. Is that everything under that?
So the taxes paid up to date are on the actual 2400 Concession Road 5, like the land subject to the application.
Right.
And then a condition of consent is that they do that PIN consolidation through MPAC. So it's just, you know, how you were talking about separate tax bills? Once they do that consolidation, that will just be one big parcel that cannot be severed because it's Greenlands. So it's just putting it all back together.
Okay, so
the taxes paid up to date are just for the application properties themselves. So the two on Laguna Parkway and then the Concession Road 5. Those ones we'll just make sure that all the taxes are up to date.
Okay,
It's
not
just a
the,
standard condition.
not the 30 Paradise.
No,
No.
no.
Okay, thank you. And just one further, Madam Chair. The destinations on the OP, it just seems like there's nothing overlapping like into the Greenland, or the Greenland comes into 145 or 127. They just seem to follow the boundary.
Yeah, it's the boundary of the settlement area. So the two properties that are getting severed off are within the Lagoon City settlement area boundary.
Okay,
The other piece is not. These were just never product of a consent or a plan of subdivision. So they merged with the adjacent properties when the ownership was all together. So it's a straight line. We're literally just separating the settlement area from the rest of it.
just one further, Madam Chair. In our condition 3 was regarding the merging of the 2400 and 30 Paradise. And all it says that the applicant or owner register an application. But we got to have a successful application. Just because you apply to the registry, does that mean that you get it? Or do you have to have, the
They'll get it.
application has to be successful?
Yeah, it's not a can we do it? It's just a please do it. There's no tribunal deciding it. It's just actually finalizing that merging together on title. So
once-
if they were to come to try to sever it after or something along those lines, it wouldn't happen anyways. They're all merged on title. So it's just called an application to consolidate because it's telling MPAC, put these all into one property identification number so that we get one tax bill, one roll number, one everything. So it's not counted as a separate parcel, even though on the other side of the world under the land registry for titles, they're merged together on title anyways.
Okay. Because, just on that note, like sometimes if you go to the registry and say, I want to register this or purchase, they'll say, well, we want an up-to-date survey or something like that. And with this large mass of land, it would be quite costly for the applicant. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so that's for actual lot creation. They want a registrable legal description with an up-to-date reference plan in order to create and convey a new parcel. An application to consolidate is completely different. It's just a clerical kind of putting these two properties together on so that it's all merged into one. So they don't need an actual registrable legal description for that. They can use the existing one. That registrable legal description and reference plan is for lot creation. Now, notwithstanding that, if they go to do the application to consolidate and the land registry office says you need a reference plan, then they'll need a reference plan to do it. But it's very unlikely.
That's because both properties are the same owner.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
You're welcome, no problem. I don't have any issues with this application. I think it's important that the marina maintains the dry storage that they have available. And if it's zoned appropriately, then I don't see an issue in that. And then as well as the other pieces being merged to continue the natural heritage feature, that's also a positive. So I see no negatives with this application. Secretary Treasurer, do you need to reread the motion?
Yes, I'll
okay.
just refresh the conditions just because I read them wrong
Okay.
at the beginning of the meeting. So I'll correct that right now. So it's 3 conditions, should the committee find it appropriate to approve the subject applications. And we already went over the first one for cash in lieu in paying the taxes and providing the registrable legal description. The third condition is that the applicant and or owner register an application to consolidate 30 Paradise Boulevard with 2400 Concession Road 5. So those 2 existing property identification numbers, we would like those consolidated with the land registry office.
Okay, so I'll put on the floor that consent applications be approved with the recommended conditions. Moved by member McMillan, second by member Warren. All in favor? That application, that motion is carried. Thank you. If you'd like to leave, you can, before we do the next application. You're welcome. Have a good day. Okay, moving on to application 4.2 for minor variance file A1525 8213 Ramara Road. Secretary Treasurer, can you please provide an overview to date on this application?
Absolutely. I have 8213 Rammer Road up on screen here, just showing an aerial imagery of the subject lands. We're discussing minor variance file A1525, and again, it's at 8213 Rammer Road. And this application for minor variance has been submitted by Bill Bowman, applicant on behalf of Jill Gordon Holdings, Inc., owner of the subject lands 8213 Rammer Road, to request relief from the minimum front yard setback to permit the location of an approximately 44.59 square meter temporary veterinary office trailer. And the proposal requests 1.45 meter variance to the required 7.5 meter minimum front yard setback, which would allow for a 6.05 meter setback to the road. The property is located with the hamlet designation of the township's official plan and the settlement designation of the County of Simcoe official plan, and is zone hamlet exception 14 temporary according to the Township of Ramara zoning bylaw. Staff have reviewed the application under report BP 4825. And when we were looking at a minor variance, we're wanting to be confident that the variance satisfies the 4 tests under section 45(1) of the Planning Act. The first test is the proposal maintaining the general intent and purpose of the official plans. The county and Ramara official plans allow for mixed uses within the settlement areas. This is a hamlet, and the hamlet does allow for specific uses with a numerical suffix to establish a permitted mixed use. And in this case, the owner is looking to establish the vet clinic. And the zoning amendment is just required to ensure appropriateness within the community, as hamlets are smaller areas. While a zoning amendment is required to establish the permanent vet clinic use, council has authorized the temporary office trailer to serve the community while the full amendment proceeds. So the requested minor variance, it's supporting the interim use that is currently permitted by council, while the owner addresses the existing open zoning bylaw amendment to establish the permanent building. Okay. Is the application, sorry, for test 2, is the application maintaining the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw? So the application generally conforms to the zoning bylaw as all other required provisions are met, other than the front yard where relief is being sought. The temporary provision on the property will expire later in 2026, and the H14 zoning will be established once all aspects are addressed of the permanent zoning bylaw amendment application, which is file Z225. Upon successfully obtaining that amendment, the development of the permanent vet office is subject to site plan approval. And then, although it is tied with further development application, this minor variance is reviewed based on its specific request, which is just the 6 meter setback to the county road, and whether the committee deems that setback appropriate to reduce the setback to allow for the temporary use. Front yard setbacks are generally increased across the township, and that's to avoid issues with traffic, sight lines, snowplow damages. Those are just some examples. And when looking at the lands, there are not perceived concerns based on the topography of the property. The county also is the road authority for Ramara Road. They have been circulated with the application and recently commented no concerns with the application. For test 3, is the subject variance desirable for the appropriate development or use of the subject lands, building, or structure? The requested variance overall facilitates orderly and appropriate use of the lands by permitting the temporary office trailer in its existing location, which provides the veterinary services to applicable local clients or distant ones while the permanent amendment is being addressed for the permanent building. And the requested variance would only be permitted for the life of the temporary zoning bylaw amendment. And approval of the requested minor variance would be supporting a local service delivery without creating long-term impacts, which makes the variance more desirable for the appropriate use and development of the property. For test 4, is the proposal minor in nature? It is staff's opinion the proposal is minor in nature since the requested value itself is not a large numerical reduction, so it could be considered modest in scale compared to the required 7.5 meters. That's in conjunction of confirming there's adequate distance from the road. Even when staff did a site visit, there's trees and rock acting as a buffer between the actual road and where that trailer is. And sorry, I don't have the photo. I wanted to put that up there, but I can share it if you would like, but it's in the staff report and it just demonstrates the setback. And it shows the topography of the land, how it slopes upward as it approaches the side of the road. I might just share my screen really quick. My apologies. Hope everyone's eyes are doing okay after that zooming and scrolling. But I just wanted to show you that the actual picture of the property here. So you can see that temporary office trailer. We see the county road here and it kind of has a curve. And then we see there's a ditching and then the land goes up and then there's some rocks and then there's trees buffering. So when you're coming towards 8213 Ramara Road, you wouldn't be able to see it depending on the direction you're going on the road until you actually passed it. Anyhow, I just wanted to share that photo and I'll jump back to my PowerPoint now. So based on the information received, the requested variance is minor in nature. The numerical value isn't intrinsically offending that 7.5 meters. And it's not adversely affecting sight lines or access along Ramara Road. Should the committee find it appropriate to approve this minor variance application, the following condition is recommended to be added to the approval. And it's that minor variance file A1525 shall apply only to one permitted trailer through the H14T zoning as submitted with the application. So that recommendation ensures that it is only applicable to that temporary zoning trailer and only one trailer. This way, once that amendment passes, as the temporary amendment does have a shelf life, which is towards the end of 2026, then the variance will no longer apply as that amendment temporary zoning is no longer active. This just ensures that we're not having a permanent trailer while permitted while there's a permanent vet clinic once that's established. So that's our only recommended condition. And the suggested motion is that the Committee of Adjustment receive staff report BP 4825 dated December 225 and that minor variance file 81525 be approved subject to the recommended condition. And the committee could alternatively amend, defer, or deny the application. However, approval is recommended. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bowman, would you like to speak further to the application? No? Perfect. Do we have anybody via Zoom from the public that would like to speak?
I'm just checking here. Hmm. Anybody online that wishes to speak further to the application? I don't think so. I think I have some people online, but I think they might just be listening.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will open it up to the committee then. Start with you, Member Warren.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess the main word in this whole conversation is temporary. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a minor variance, and being it's temporary, to me, it's a no-brainer. There's no problem on the way I look at it, unless some of the other members see so. But I'm all for it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Member McMillan?
Thanks, Madam Chair. I did a site visit. The trailer's there. It's, once again, like I say, it's temporary. I think they have 1 year from now or something, then the temporary thing. Just in the past, I think, can the applicant come and extend the temporary bylaw for a period of time? And I think staff have addressed that in the report, saying that this variance is only as good as long as temporary amendments in place.
That's correct. So through the chair, they do have a temporary zoning bylaw amendment on the property right now to operate out of trailers while they work to finalize their permanent site solution. They will be doing a permanent building. The temporary zoning amendment, I believe, was, I think, 18 months. If they need an extension, they can request an extension of council. If council approves the extension, the variance would carry with that extension, because the variance is just explicitly to that site-specific temporary zoning. So they wouldn't have to come back to committee, but technically, yes, they could extend it if they needed to. They would just need to demonstrate that A, there's a need for extension, and B, demonstrate that it is clearly transitory, right? It's not going to be a permanent operation like that. So,
Thank you.
Member Truex?
Yes, it's temporary, and I guess they're building a new spot, so this gives them room to work. I have no problem.
And Member Walker?
I agree with the rest of the members and I have no concerns.
Okay. I'm in agreement. I think the biggest concern about not meeting a front yard setback, especially on a county road, is having the safety of if cars were to go off the road. But as the Secretary Treasurer demonstrated, and we would see on the site visit, there is a good natural barrier between the road and the trailers to alleviate that concern. I think a lot of the Ramara residents benefit from this type of service, so I think it's important to keep it going while the permanent structure is being figured out. So I think it's good to support a temporary solution in the interim. So I will put on the floor that the minor variance application file A1525 be approved as outlined in the staff report with the recommended condition. Moved by Member Truax, second by Member Walker. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. All right, I will move on to item 5.1 for the minutes of the committee adjustment meeting held on November 4th, 2025. Do any of the committee members have any errors or omissions? Seeing none, I will put the motion that the minutes of the November 4th, 2025 Committee of Adjustment meeting be approved as presented. Moved by Member Walker, second by Member Truax. All in favor? That's carried. I abstained from voting because I was not present at that meeting. Item 6, unfinished or new business. Seeing none on the agenda, does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up? Member McMillan?
maybe through the staff. I read something in the past week or something where the provincial government has just changed some regulations regarding committee of adjustments and minor variances. Something that if their minor variance is within 10% of the allowable limit, that they don't have to come to the committee. It's just a matter of right.
That's correct. We're going to talk about that in the quick policy session after the meeting. And it is 90% and it only applies to properties that are on fully serviced lots in settlement areas that are not within specific areas like 300 meters of a rail line or 120 meters of a wetland. So it's pretty scoped down, but Chris is going to review that in the policy session.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Anything further? Nope. Okay. I will move for item 7 for adjournment, that the Committee of Adjustment meeting adjourn at 10:11 a.m. Moved by Member Warren, second by Member McMillan. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.